Hello, hello. My name is Becky and I am 23. Yay, 23. In a few months, I'll be 24, and then in a little over a year, I'll be 25. And my prefrontal cortex will be completely developed. Yay, go Becky's prefrontal cortex. Woo-woo. um, as of right now, I've been a legal adult for about 5 years, but I've only really been doing this adulting thing for about a year and 3 quarters. And as a newly true adult, I have to say adulting sucks. Okay? It 100% sucks. See, when we're children, we wish to be adults, right? We perceive them as free, bound by the same rules that we are as kids, and we cannot wait to have the same freedom that they have. And so we place our hopes and our dreams on the future grown versions of ourselves while we, as kids, continue to follow the path that we have been set on. So, whatever your parents wanted you to do, you continue doing that. Because future you will go forth and live your dreams, and they will be amazing. Yeah. We use our hopes on our future as our crutches, right? Our clutches, our crutches, whatever the word is, while we experience the pains of being young. And that is just our constant throughout all the years, throughout our elementary school, middle school, high school, and for some of us, even college, because some people actually don't get to pick their major. They do whatever major their parents wanted them to do, right? And after you do all of that, you're past elementary school, you're past middle school, high school, and now past college, you're finally an adult. Yay! It's finally time to be free, to live that life you've dreamed of since you were a child. But then, the things that you didn't see when you were young about adults hit you, and they hit you hard. So the bills that need to be paid, okay? The time that you have to give to make the money to pay the bills that have to be paid. The new set of societal expectations that come with being an adult, where you got to have your act together. You have to be able to do a bunch of new things that no one ever told you had to do, like pay taxes. Hello, no one ever trained us on paying taxes, but now you have to do them, right? You have to sacrifice time and sacrifice money to achieve things that may not necessarily be what you want, but are essential for societal's expectation of what an adult should be. And as you do all of these things, you come to the harrowing realization that freedom is not truly free. And before you know it, a lot of us become overwhelmed. We get lost in the shuffle of the everyday, in the daily time offerings, the 9 to 5s or 10 to 6s or 8 to 4s or 6 to 6, depending on what crazy schedule you've got to work to get that money to pay your bills. And before long, the dreams that we had, the futures that we desired, and the hopes that helped us through all of it all, we forget them. Yeah. Every day becomes an endless cycle of the same. Clocks tick, days go by, and not long after, all we're left with are regrets. Regrets because we did not do the things that we wanted to do, and all the time that we had is gone. See, no one really warns you of this part of adulthood, where you start to feel homesick. Not for a house, not for a place, but a moment in time, a version of life that just doesn't exist anymore, a place that you can't return to, and a feeling that you didn't know you'd miss until it was gone. We spend most of our lives looking forward to the next milestone, placing our bets on our future versions of ourselves. We give the present a pass because future us, well, that's the past, future us will have all that we need to make our dreams come true. And as we do this, we forget that the future becomes the present and the present becomes the past. We forget that our current present is the future that our past selves bet on. We forget of the duty we have to ourselves to live our dreams. And we forget all of these, not because we're unable to reason, but because we never give our present the power to reject the rules that society binds us by. That power we only gave to our future selves. And when it comes to the theory of how time flows, one of my favorites is that we perceive time as fluid and flowing because it exists in a different dimension than we're able to conceptualize. It basically says that time is in the fourth dimension, but we live in the third. So we can only perceive it as flowing because we're unable to see all that it is at once, which is very similar to how, to a 2D camera, the third dimension flows because they're unable to perceive all of it at once. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like if you draw a cone. Is it a cone or a cylinder? If you draw a 3D shape, right, for a 2D camera, for a 2D character, they probably just see it as a line that keeps moving. Like if you draw a line off a page, right, you're drawing around, they see it as a line that just keeps moving. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm trying to get at is the past, the present, and the future all exist at the same time, which means even though we think they're flowing, they actually are probably all on the same plane that we cannot conceptualize. So we look at it as the past, the present, and the future. The hope with that theory, and the reason I bring it up, is because if the past, the present, and the future all exist at the same time, then that means we are always capable of giving to our present the powers that we've given to the past or to the future. So, all this to say, my adult life has not gotten better with this realization. I still think adulting sucks. I still wake up every day and I go to work and I give my time and I come back from work and I think about all the things that I want to do at this point in time in my life and I cry and I cry and I cry. And then I repeat the exact same thing over and over again the next day. Okay? But even though my life hasn't gotten better with this realization, in fact, it has actually gotten slightly worse because the amount of times I'm like reeling and overcome by the thoughts of wasted potential is insane. At least I am aware now. And I can slowly but surely begin to give the present me the power to live out my dreams. Just to become the future that past me looked up to. So, all this to say, the life is what you make of it. And if you keep wishing upon this version of you that is yet to come, you will end up in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 40s, your 30s, whatever time to you feels old. And all you would realize is that you have regrets because you never came to this realization that the present you is the future to your past, and your past has bet a lot on you. And the same power that you're giving to your future, you can take and weaponize in your present. Start living out those dreams now and not years down the line. Years down the line. So that's it. That's all I had to say today. Just Becky thoughts. Let me know what you think. I mean, I think the theory about time flowing is like, was it about Einstein's like fourth dimension theory, like a block theory? I don't really know what it is. I didn't really pay that much attention in classes, but I really, really liked that concept and like the concept of singularity. Um, but let me know what you think. I mean, if you have any suggestions on how to live a more fulfilling life, I will take those too. Because just because I'm trying to give personally the power doesn't mean I got it right yet. I don't. So anyway, um, please don't forget to, I guess, like and subscribe and leave me a comment on what you think or other things that I should consider. Well, till next time. Bye.